Hello and welcome to Look North. On the programme tonight, 2 years on from the death of Sheffield United footballer Maddy Cusack, her family say they're still waiting for answers ahead of an inquest next year.
January will be really difficult for everybody, and it's something that you've just got to get through ultimately, and hopefully get justice for Maddy.
The Football Association launched an inquiry last year. The report is yet to be published. Also tonight, West Yorkshire's mayor meets grooming gang survivors amid calls for Bradford to be a major part of a national inquiry. We're out with a rag and bone man who's been asked to collect parts of the set for a new theatre show. Could this be the world's fastest shed? The man cave on wheels, hoping to race into the record books in York.
And it's looking rather wet on Saturday with heavy rain and a yellow warning in place. I'll have more details for you towards the end of the programme.
Good evening and welcome to Friday's programme. 2 years on from the death of footballer Maddy Cusack, her family say they're still waiting for answers. Maddy was found dead at her home, aged just 27. She played for Sheffield United. Her family have complained about processes and conduct at the club, but an independent investigation found no evidence of wrongdoing. An inquest is due to start in January. Emma Williamson reports.
Maddy Cusack was known as Miss Sheffield United. She loved football and the club she played for.
She was such a happy-go-lucky person. She didn't need anything. She just wanted her family, her close friends, everyone to be happy and healthy and to play the sport that she loved.
But Maddy's family also say her spirit was broken by football.
To us, she was my sister. She was one of Nina's very good friends. And the reminders are continuous. You know, this is our everyday life that we've been living now for almost 2 years.
Maddy Cusack was 27 years old when she was found dead at her Derbyshire home in Horsley on the 20th of September 2023. Her family said Maddy had no long-standing mental health issues, but she was facing a number of pressures in the months before she died.
I couldn't be any closer to Maddy. I knew what she was going through, and she would confide in me and tell me things.
Friend and former Sheffield United teammate Nina Wilson quit football after Maddy's death.
I don't feel like players are supported well enough, and I don't think for all that we give to the game is giving us a lot back. And like I say, I think that's really been solidified for the last 2 years and everything we've seen in response to Maddy's death.
In December 2023, an independent investigation found no evidence of wrongdoing at Sheffield United Football Club. The Football Association launched an inquiry in January last year. The family is still waiting for the final FA report to be published.
It's difficult to take your foot off the gas for a minute and actually think about what's happened logically, and actually come to terms with the fact she's not coming back, and no matter what you do or what you say, nothing's going to change that.
As a mark of respect, Maddy's family are asking Sheffield United to retire her number 8 shirt.
Until the inquest is concluded, Sheffield United says there's unlikely to be any progress made. However, once it's finished, conversations can be had. Meanwhile, a spokesperson for the Football Association has said it continues to support the coroner and will await her findings before concluding its own formal investigation.
The inquest will begin in January next year at Chesterfield Coroner's Court. Emily Williamson, BBC Look North.
And if you've been affected by the issues raised there, or you're suffering distress or despair and you need support, a list of organisations that can help is available at bbc.co.uk/actionline, or you can call for free to hear recorded information on 0800 066 066. Some more news from around the region now, and North Yorkshire Police have said the illegal riding of electric motorbikes is on the rise in York and other areas of the county. This video was filmed in York city centre just after midnight on Tuesday, showing 4 people riding Saron bikes over Ouse Bridge. The electric bike riders were hunted by police and inquiries are underway to identify and locate them. Breast cancer patients in Leeds will no longer be left with permanent marks on their bodies after radiotherapy. Until now, tattoo markings were needed to help guide the equipment, but thanks to money from the Leeds Hospitals charity, new technology has been introduced by the NHS which can provide accurate treatment without them. Now, the BBC Radio York Make a Difference Awards took place this afternoon at York Racecourse. Yes, this year there was a special tribute to the firefighters and farmers who helped tackle the recent huge fire on Langdale Moor in North Yorkshire. The blaze burned for nearly a month and covered 10 square miles, devastating farmland.
It's really lovely, and obviously it'd be lovely to have everyone here because there's been a lot of people up there, a lot of firefighters, a lot of farmers and everyone else as well, but it's nice to kind of be here on behalf of them.
Yes, richly deserved. Now we're into party political conference season, and next up this weekend are the Liberal Democrats. The party has one sitting MP in our region, James Gordon, who represents Harrogate. Our political editor, James Vincent, has been speaking to him and the Lib Dem party leader.
Yes, welcome to Harrogate, and this is kind of where the Lib Dems live in our part of the world at the moment. Until Tom Gordon got elected here in Harrogate and Knaresborough last year, it was going on for a decade since they'd had an MP elected in Yorkshire. It's conference season, it means leaders interview season for us as well. Ed Davey up this week. The Lib Dems won 72 seats at the last general election, which is a record for them, but is he worried that there's another party that might be picking up more votes than them from people who normally vote for the Labour Party or the Conservative Party?
Well, let's see what happens in the elections in places like Sheffield next May. I'm really positive about our chances, actually. And it is true that people have basically lost trust in Labour and the Conservatives. And it's increasing the battle between the Liberal Democrats and Reform for which party offers the best change. We're seeing with Reform, they want to take Britain to a Trumpian America, where people pay for healthcare, where people see fracking in their local communities for gas, and where we become dependent on Vladimir Putin for gas imports. I don't think many British people want that. And the change that Liberal Democrats offer, which is much truer to British traditional values, where we want to reform the health service by reforming our care system so we get proper social care, take the pressure off the hospitals, where we want to cut people's energy bills by half over the next 10 years by investing in renewables.
But are those policies cutting through? Because we see by-elections, we see council elections, you're not getting those seats, it's other parties that are coming in and maybe taking them from the more established parties. Are you losing ground to other newer parties that are on the scene?
Well, last May, when there's a big set of local elections, we did incredibly well. It was the 7th year in a row where we made net gains across the country. That's never happened before. We won more seats than Labour and the Conservatives. That's never happened before. We're running more councils than Conservatives across England. I mean, this is a story of success for the Liberal Democrats at local level, and I think when you come to the May elections next year, you'll see more of that. We can transform communities if people put their trust in us, and I'm looking forward to the battle with Reform, where we show we are the real party of change.
So some positivity from the Lib Dem leader there, but what about Tom Gordon, the only Lib Dem MP that we've got here? He's going to conference and he's confident that he thinks that they can pick up votes next year and going into the general election from people all across the political spectrum.
Where we work, we win, and it's about making sure we have more people on the ground who want to go out and actually want to fight for that hope and optimism that the country needs. One of the things that's really, really clear when we saw those local election results, we came second to Reform, but that meant we beat for the first time ever both the Conservatives and the Labour Party. So what's really, really clear is that people do want an alternative, and where we're there to give it to them, they do vote for us and do back us, and that's what I'll be doing across the next few years, going out, supporting colleagues at a local government level to then make sure when it comes to the next general election, we're winning places back like Sheffield, Hallam, and making inroads in those places we used to hold, like Leeds North West too.
So it's the Lib Dem conference this week, and don't forget we'll be catching up with all the party leaders as their individual conferences roll around in the next few weeks this autumn.
Thank you, James. Next tonight, the Mayor of West Yorkshire has met with grooming gang survivors and MPs to discuss the response to a national inquiry into child sexual exploitation. More than 200 men have been jailed for offences linked to grooming gangs across the county over the past decade. A national report highlighted failings such as survivors being blamed instead of believed and inaction by authorities. Well, our Home Affairs correspondent Emma Glasby joins me now. Emma, just tell us about today's meeting.
Well, this was a meeting organised by the West Yorkshire Mayor Tracy Brabin with some survivors and also some local MPs. It is now 3 months since the Prime Minister Keir Starmer announced there would be a national inquiry into grooming gangs, with some local investigations to be carried out as part of that. Now, the government at the start of the year had dismissed calls for an inquiry, but in June there was a U-turn. There was also a change in tone from some of our local politicians following that announcement of the grooming gangs inquiry. Bradford Council leader Susan Hinchliffe wrote to the Home Office to say that Bradford would be very willing to participate in a local investigation. West Yorkshire Mayor Tracy Brabin, who had previously said that there had already been multiple inquiries, has now also written to the Home Office to say that she will be offering West Yorkshire as one of the areas to be examined. Now, Bradford grooming survivor Fiona Goddard was at today's meeting, and I asked her if she was reassured that local politicians are now very publicly expressing how willing they are to be involved.
Not at all, because literally a couple of weeks before the national inquiry was announced, they were full on against an inquiry. So the only thing that has changed is the government issuing the statutory inquiry. Their opinions themselves hasn't changed. They're now just trying to make themselves look good and portray that they're willing to participate, when actually if the government hadn't have issued this, we would have never have had an inquiry into Bradford.
And of course there are many towns and cities in our region that have been affected by the grooming scandal.
Yes, there have been many high-profile cases and perpetrators jailed in areas like Rotherham, of course, Bradford, Huddersfield, Dewsbury, Batley. It's been an issue really right across our region. Fiona Goddard has said that she very much wants a local investigation to focus on Bradford as an individual city rather than West Yorkshire as a whole. And I spoke to her when she came out of the meeting today with the Mayor's office.
They did say that they will be putting it forward for it to be split up into Bradford, Dewsbury and Huddersfield, which is a major improvement. We now need to see whether the independent chair accepts that and does put Bradford as one of the cities. I did stress why it was important, and that I also told them they need to get behind the victims.
Now, we did ask the West Yorkshire Mayor Tracy Brabin for an interview today, but she was not available. We still don't know who will lead this national grooming gangs inquiry or the particular areas to be focused on. There are many survivors who are waiting to hear those details.
Yes, thank you, Emma. Well, elsewhere today, the police watchdog has given an update on its investigation into the sexual exploitation of hundreds of teenage girls in Rotherham. The IOPC confirmed there was systematic organisational failure at South Yorkshire Police, with no indication that any senior officer committed a criminal offence or behaved in a manner that would justify disciplinary proceedings. Additional information has been released after whistleblowers in Rotherham scandal raised concerns that senior officers had not been investigated. Now, it's been a very special day at Chatsworth House in Derbyshire. The prestigious Queen's Reading Room Festival gets underway this weekend. It's a celebration of storytelling with some of the biggest names in literature to promote the power and benefits of reading. Well, who better to launch it than Queen Camilla herself? Our reporter Angela Rafferty is there too.
Yes, welcome to the spectacular setting for this year's Queen's Reading Room Festival. It's a festival designed to promote a love of books and reading, and it was launched just a few years ago by Queen Camilla herself. It's the first time that the festival has been held outside of London, and thousands of visitors are expected from across the UK and indeed the world to see and hear some of the best-selling authors. The chances are, if you've got a book on your bookshelf that you've bought in the last couple of years, the authors are going to be here this weekend. And also, to get it off to a fantastic start, Her Majesty has been here this afternoon.
It's been such a joy having Her Majesty with us. She is completely committed to getting more people reading more and spreading the joy and love of books. She's the most well-read person I've ever met, and she is, I think, so thrilled that we're bringing all of this incredible talent here to Chatsworth. Also incredibly excited to have launched a partnership with a local domestic violence charity, the Elm Foundation. All of the books donated here over this weekend will be going to them, and it's a start of what we hope will be a fantastic partnership using reading as a form of therapy.
When somebody comes into the refuge, they have nothing. They very rarely have shoes. They don't have food. And to be able to give them a brand new book to be able to read in their own space is an absolute joy to our organisation.
As well as meeting the people that her charity is helping, Queen Camilla got a taste of what visitors this weekend will get to enjoy. This year marks the 250th anniversary of the birth of Jane Austen, and Her Majesty was treated to a view of Austen treasures and an Austen performance out on the lawns of the house, much to the surprise of the people who were watching on. This year marks the 250th anniversary of Jane Austen's birth, and Chatsworth, of course, was chosen as the film location for Pride and Prejudice, so it is indeed the perfect setting. It promises to be a real star-studded event. The biggest names and the world's best-selling authors will be here this weekend.
This is about really enjoying books of every kind. Children's books, serious books, funny books, detective stories. I mean, I just saw Richard Osman here. Alan Titchmarsh is here, the great gardener. What's not to like? In a naughty world, in a bad world, in a difficult world, open a book and it's your passport to other worlds, better worlds. They're great things, books.
For the Queen herself, this is a subject really close to her heart, and for lovers of literature, there literally is nowhere better to be this weekend.
Absolutely. Now on to the sport. Sally is here with the latest. Sally.
Thank you, Amanda. Yes, first, the former Sheffield Steelers player Matthew Petgrave has returned to professional ice hockey after authorities decided not to charge him in relation to the death of a former Nottingham Panthers player. Matt Petgrave spent 17 months on bail after he was arrested in November 2023 following the death of Adam Johnson during a match at the Sheffield Arena. He's now been signed by Indy Fuel in the US, and in a statement he said, "I am thankful to continue my professional career in a sport I love." To the World Athletics Championships in Tokyo now, and there's been more success for Yorkshire on day 7. Harrogate runner George Mills looked calm and confident in those Great Britain colours this afternoon in the semi-final of the 5,000 metres. In what was a fairly slow-paced race, Mills had no trouble finishing in the top 8 to get through to the final. He eventually crossed the line in 3rd. Coverage of Sunday's final is live on BBC One from 11 o'clock in the morning. In the Women's Rugby World Cup, England will face France in Bristol tomorrow in the semi-final, captained by Scarborough's Zoe Aldcroft. The Red Roses beat Scotland in the quarter-finals and are favourites to go right the way to the final. They've won their past 16 matches against France. Keighley's Ellie Kildon returns to the team after concussion, and captain Zoe Aldcroft says the team have been settling their pre-match nerves with a movie night.
We've kept our process the same as what we always do. I think that's a really important thing that we do, and we've had a very good training week again. Got the conditions in the rain, so expecting some rain on Saturday again, and then had our Bond evening last night, so we just chilled out having a little slumber party watching Step Up. So yeah, just keeping it nice and chill and just keeping our connections together off the field as well.
And Super League's decisive phase is fast approaching, especially for the women, with York Valkyrie and Leeds Rhinos in semi-final action on Sunday. Defending champions York are away at St Helens, followed by Leeds Rhinos at Wigan Warriors. And both teams know that this year they rank as the semi-final underdogs.
What semi-finals are about. I don't think they'll be probably looking at us and taking us lightly. I think that they know that we are a good team, and it's just two teams turning up who want to be competitive.
These are things that sort of make you the great players and the great teams that you are. And all we can do is just keep going out there, keep turning up, and hopefully, like I say, defend the title once.
And Wakefield Trinity are playing tonight at Salford, but regardless of the result, they are already through to the elimination semi-final next week, thanks to Hull FC's defeat last night. That's all for now.
Thank you very much, Sally. Next tonight, we're taking you to Homewood in Bradford to tell you about a theatre production inspired by real-life stories from the Gypsy and Traveller community. It's part of the City of Culture celebrations, and the show is called Ride, and lots of local people are involved in the project. One of those is Rob, the set builder, who makes his living as a rag and bone man. We've been out to find out more.
Oh, rest of the film crew will be jealous when you get back. Driving around with a camera in a lovely warm day, eh? What more could you ask for? I'm a rag and bone collector. I'm doing this to collect metal for the show for Bradford Culture 2025. But we're going to be collecting bits of scrap metal for the set to make a setup and make it look like thing. You all right, son, you love? This is Polo. He's about 10-year-old. He's really friendly. He's a lovely horse. He's good to have around people. Welcome, lad. Means everything to me. My culture's rag and bone, scrapping, and there's all different cultures, isn't there, in Bradford? You know, but yeah, I love it. I love my culture. I love the way of life. I won't leave Bradford for £1 million. People just, someone with an horse and car, they think, oh, he's a gypsy, he's a traveller. It's not all like that. The way I've been brought up from my granddad showing me, you know what I mean? We'll be pulling up in a minute to get quite a bit of metal, what's been saved up. Thing you knock on the door though, Bobby, tell him you're here. Some of these bits we're going to use for the show. But bits like these, they'll be hung up.
Yeah, so my name's Sarah Sheed. I run a company called Spin Art, and we make touring shows that try to tell stories that don't often land on our stages. I guess the reason why I have such an affinity with this community is because my stepdad actually came from a gypsy family. I think so often what happens in the arts is we do these sort of engagement projects, and they're sort of like an attachment to making the show, and we wanted them to really value that the community, their stories, their skill set are as valuable as the artists making the show.
Yeah, it wasn't bad for a start, mate. Honest, I reckon we've got at least 100 pieces there for sure, don't you? Got quite a bit of work to do. Yeah, it's brilliant. I can't wait to see it all up. I can't wait to see the final result and show as well.
So today is our first day. We've just arrived at the TFD Centre and we're setting up for the big show, so we have a lot happening.
I'm just a gypsy from a field, mate, innit? So, yeah, crazy. So my name's Big Delly, Romany gypsy rapper. My real name is William Keat. And let me tell you a tale about Jimmy, how he used to live his life on the ground. His dad collects metal, try earning £1. He's living free, gypsy and proud. And stories by the fire and they cook on it too. And his grand's in the trailer, watch her whip up a brew. The first part of the show really shines, it runs parallel with my life. Vulnerability in men and gypsies is scarce. So I would like a non-gypsy to come and see us in a different light. And I would like a gypsy to come and feel very proud, and people from the estate to feel like we really did represent them in the best possible way.
Just don't forget where you come from. Huh? Don't forget your background, where you're from. We all come from horses.
And Ride is on this evening and tomorrow night at the TFD Centre in Homewood. Now, petrol heads are known for their quest for speed, but the ambition can take a wayward turn. Take Brian Cade. The retired builder decided he wanted to race a shed. Yes, you heard correctly, a shed. And he brought it to Elvington Airfield near York today to test the Guinness World Record of over 100 miles per hour. Kathy Killick was there.
At Elvington Airfield, they take speed seriously. So Brian Cade's shed has been raising a few eyebrows. He wants to break the Guinness World Record of 106 miles per hour. It's a big ask.
I used to love record breakers as a child, but also I'm a bit of a petrol head, so I looked for a record I could do, and this seemed like a good idea. I've only actually ever done 2 miles an hour in it, in and out of the garage, so now to do 130 is quite daunting.
How are you feeling right now?
Terrified.
And upping the ante is Kevin Nix, current record holder with his own fastest shed. and determined not to be beaten.
So he's going from 2 miles an hour to 130. I can honestly tell you, that's not how you set records.
Well, we'll see, won't we? The two sheds squared up for their turns on the runway.
There's 2 sheds, there's a big shed and a little shed.
First up, Kevin. His speed is monitored in the adjudicator's caravan. A cool 110 miles an hour. Can Brian beat it? We're about to find out. He gets to 96 miles an hour, enough to prompt another try. But this one's a drive too far. Smoke billowing as the clutch is blown, the little blue shed is towed home.
Very disappointing. Basically, it was lack of experience. First time I didn't go for it enough and didn't get the speed. This time I went for it and burnt the clutch out. Too much power.
The official fastest shed is still officially the fastest shed. How fast did I go out there today? 110. Get in.
But watch out, Brian will be back next year for Shed Wars Mark II. Cathy Killick, BBC Look North, Elvington.
Oh, we love a bit of jeopardy. We will be back with him, I am sure. Now, onto the weather prospects. It's been glorious today, hasn't it, Kat?
It's been lovely. It's also been warm as well, so sort of feeling a bit summery, but things do take a turn tomorrow and through the weekend, especially Sunday. Huge drop off in temperature. I'll come on to that in just a second. But for most of the day, it has been quite cloudy. I picked this photo because it looks very autumnal. The beginning of astronomical autumn begins on Monday, so very fitting. And the second photo here shows that we did get some sunny spells today, so it did brighten up occasionally. So thank you, as always, for sending in your pictures. If you'd like your picture on the telly, you can send it in to us via social media, or you can head straight to the Weather Watchers website. So tomorrow it's going to be a cloudier day. There is going to be outbreaks of rain, some heavy bursts in places, which is why we do have a yellow warning in force for that heavy rain. So here's that rain coming in on this system here. It's really going to persist overnight on Saturday and into Sunday morning, but by Sunday morning, very early doors, it's going to clear, and so the rest of Sunday's looking fine, dry and bright, lots of sunshine around, but it is going to be feeling much cooler. So out there tonight, cloud amounts will increase. Here's that rain that's going to start to pull in from the west. Those winds will pick up slightly and temperatures will fall away to around 14 degrees. A mild start to Saturday morning. So your next high waters, we've got Scarborough 3:58 tomorrow morning and Filey at 11 minutes past 4. So tomorrow morning is going to be a cloudy start to the day. That rain is going to continue to pull in, and it really does get stuck. As you can see, it's going to persist for most of the day, and also those winds are going to pick up, especially along the coast towards the end of the afternoon. We're looking at highs tomorrow of around 16 degrees, so already we're feeling the drop off in temperature. It's going to feel even cooler on Sunday, but that rain is going to persist overnight on Saturday into Sunday, clearing first thing, so the rest of Sunday is looking fine, dry and bright with lots of sunshine. It's an improving picture.
Apart from tomorrow, what a difference a day makes.
I know.
Thank you very much, Kat. Good job I did my washing today. It's all dry on the line. Goodbye.